To the ladies out here, we're going to get this straight. About 15 of y'all wrote us. A couple of y'all did not understand the instructions, but because I have a wife and I understand that y'all understanding instructions is hard. I said you got to be cute.
Oh,
now
coming in hot.
I am going to say this,
coming
though.
in hot.
I am going to say this. A couple of y'all asked, why is that necessary? It's necessary. And I explained it in the first video. If me and Mike are saying we not the prettiest, then we need somebody to offset that.
Exactly.
A lot.
Yeah.
So you got to be cute.
You're going to do a lot of heavy lifting.
You're going to do a lot of heavy lifting, but that's why we're going to pay for your makeup. And a couple of y'all said, I could do my own makeup. I looked through y'all profiles. We're going to get you a makeup artist. Shout out to Christina. Shout out to Christian. Shout out to Deshanae.
We just need a good producer.
We do.
Look good on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a question. So like you said, so we ain't over here scrolling on our phones. We just like, hey, look that up real quick.
And you got to have tough skin.
Like, oh yeah, this is the internet. Welcome to the internet.
Yes. And I promise you, when we make it, you will get your own tour bus or your own driver. You ain't riding in the car with us.
No. Hey, therapy. We get you therapy too.
That's coming later. We got to get...
We got to get the budget though. We got the budget by next summer, man. We're on an upward trajectory.
I need a therapist.
We are. Let's see here. What do they call it? Whenever you taking off, like the point of no return on the airplane. Like that's where we at. We're in the air now. No turning back.
No turning back. Yeah. So we need somebody. And a couple of y'all too serious. And a couple of y'all, shout out to Coach. You know who you are. Y'all brands are too precious and too for real for me to be like, you should come to the dark side.
But you can do that though. Yeah. Mark Lamont has proven that. Mark Lamont has proven that you could be serious on one place and then not so serious here. And I think we need more down on the internet. We need that duality for, to show that, hey, like we are normal people. Like people that are just super freaking professional. You need to know that like, like they're cool too. They have opinions also. Like we need to get back to the point where people can have opinions that it's not like instant cancel culture because somebody disagrees with you on a point of view.
Well, two parts. Mark Lamont Hill is unemployed. His only employer might be Joe Budden. So he works as an independent contractor. So that's one thing. Two, yes, but unfortunately, this new generation, and I don't see it turning around anytime soon, has decided that they like to be empowered and have power and cancel people for whatever they might be.
Yeah.
Even if that's let's make an uproar long enough for you don't have a job. Like the fact of people getting out of jail, right? Why is Larry Hoover getting out of jail? He's not getting out of jail. We know he got to do his state time, right? Yeah. It's kids who parents wasn't born who are giving opinions on Larry Hoover.
Yeah.
That's crazy if you think about it.
No, it is. I mean, but it's the internet. And like I said, I get it, right?
Yes.
So it's like, I want everybody to be able to get it off. But in order for everybody to be able to get it off, that means that if you disagree with an opinion, you can't show it with pitchforks and be like, off with your head. Like, it has to be like, all right, I just disagree.
Absolutely. Man, shout out for everybody who can do both. I respect it. Shout out to Mark Lamont Hill. We will be talking about you shortly, so you stick around. What you been up to?
Not much, man. Same old working. We'll be live tonight, so if anybody...
Ooh, what you talking about?
Tonight, I had to look in the notes.
About the hoes?
No, man. You know I don't do that whole gender war stuff, man.
I wasn't talking about... I was talking about literal hoes.
Oh, literal hoes. That's sometimes...
A girl asked me this weekend, would I let my girl peg me?
This is me getting to know Gavin. What did you say?
I said absolutely not.
I wouldn't judge you either way.
Okay, so then...
I don't kink shame. See, I'm consistent.
Well, this is true. She listens to the pod. So she heard that part. And she said, why do you have a problem with golden showers? And I told her, I don't see why that's necessary. And she's like, why not? So then she started shaming me. And I told her, this is why you can't be a host on a pod, because you and Mike will cuck me. So I'll be in the corner watching y'all pod. And she laughed. And she's like, I agree with him. I'm like, no. He's not right on anything we're talking about at this moment. And she was like, yo, I just think that. So the conversation started. This is TMI.
Yeah.
All the guys.
Keep going.
All the guys at the table, she said, I asked her, dummy, yo, which one of us do you think could get pegged first? Because it was a joke we had. And she looked me dead in my eyes, straight face, and said, you. And I said, and I cussed her out. We said we ain't cussing too early in the pod, but we already talked about this. And she said this, and I looked at her and I said, no, it's not me. And she was like, And she was like, you wouldn't let your girl do that? And I'm like, hell no. And so me and her had that conversation. She asked me why. She did ask me a serious question. And I felt like it was unfair because you serious the conversation out too early.
Uh-oh.
She said, do you think it's because you will see yourself as gay? And I said, no. However, I said, I don't want that. And I said, but maybe deep down, I probably think like, damn, maybe. But then I'm like, and she was like, see, I think you having a little issue here. I'm like, no, I don't want it. But also, I might think it might make me that too.
Well, you can only be gay if it's with a guy, right? Like,
true.
That's what makes it gay. But two, you also don't have to like pegging. And again, I don't kink shame. And pegging is not something that I'm into. But if anybody was into it, or if I met a woman and she was into it, I'm not about to say what y'all think I'm about to say. I would just tell her, I can't. So I understand if you need that. We wouldn't work if you need that.
My problem is she did start to walk me back from pegging.
Back to the golden showers?
No. She was like, okay, a finger. Okay, a tongue. She was trying to inch me into, and I was like, yo. And then it didn't help. It was like a bourbon bottle on the table. And she started showing me on a bourbon bottle, like how much it could be. And I'm like, yo, my girl ain't into this. And she was like, oh, okay then. Guess you ain't got to do it. And I'm
she was
like,
cute?
She was pretty.
She was pretty?
Yeah.
I told you, them pretty girls be freaks, man. Y'all be sleeping on them pretty women. So I only date pretty women. Man.
Niggas don't sleep on pretty women. They can't pull pretty women.
It's not that hard, man. And I'm just a regular 6. Not that hard. You can grab a pretty girl.
Now the comments gonna tear you up about you being a 6.
I mean, come on. I would have to be. I'm damn near 50. Like I would have to say, I'm coming in hard at a 6. All right, you cannot tell me I'm coming in at a 5.
Look, she was not ugly. She's a pretty girl and she's cool. But I was just like, yo, you can't do this to me. Not right here at this conversation. And but it was a funny conversation. But
that is funny.
It was.
I was worried there for a minute.
Oh, you gonna judge me?
I wasn't gonna judge you, but the comment section might.
Oh, they was gonna tear me up. And sis, I told you I send this part of the conversation to you. I will put this in your DM, or you probably gonna listen to it before I reach out to you. So it doesn't matter, man. But shout out to you. You know who you are. All right, let's get this pod started. She gonna laugh at that. Hold on, where we at? See, I hate when you niggas do stuff extra on the internet. Oh shit! Damn, they showing ass on my Instagram. Luna, shout out to Luna Star, man.
That sounds familiar.
Luna Star. Oh, she's goated. Hold on, here we go.
Go public with your relationship or remain private with your relationship?
I'm gonna remain private.
For it to succeed.
I'd rather it be private. I like to enjoy my time.
That's key to roles, by
that
the way.
If once his time is up,
Right.
it's a quick transition out the door.
I got you.
Don't do too many interviews. Don't do too many introductions.
If you love somebody and you're in a relationship, why do people persuade the
This is
audience to
Sukiana.
think that they're single? If
She
you
look
love
different.
somebody, you love them.
Do y'all think it's better?
I recently posted with
Did
my
you want this
man,
part?
but I covered his face, and people were like, "Why are you covering his face?"
I don't like that face cover shit. It's corny.
Why did you do it?
Facts.
Because it's my man. You know, I have a man.
But why are we covering the face?
But
I don't like
why
that
do you
shit.
need to see his face?
I feel like you're scared that the girls that do know him
No.
or that's dealing with him now, you're afraid that they're gonna hit you.
So just to show I have a man, so that other niggas know in my DMs, there's somebody here.
Yeah.
There is somebody here. But as far as you getting into what he do and that's not your fucking business. So I have a man.
Oh, okay.
Hi, how
Do you want him to
doing?
hide you too?
I don't give a fuck.
But I am with them. Like public versus private, I would never show my woman on the internet.
See, I'm on the other side.
Yeah, I would never.
I'm on the other side.
Yeah, but and part of it is because it'd be different if I was a panderer, right? Then I'd show my woman, right? Because then all the women would be like, your woman is pretty, whether she's pretty or not, right? They're gonna just say she's pretty because I'm pandering. But sometimes y'all be disagreeing and y'all like take shots and y'all disagree.
Yeah. Well, damn, somebody left something under the table. What the fuck?
Yeah, you got another drink. Don't.
Oh, that's actually mine. I gotta say, yo, these dirty motherfuckers.
But no, I am more so like, yeah, I'd rather just keep it private.
So I look at I get it. Everybody got their preference on how they run the internet. Now, if you like me, because I have a business, I'm on the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I show my child, I show my wife when I'm out. Not even that. I show my wife on my story. She be looking busted around the house, right?
Come on, Gal. Come on, Gal. Stop doing that to your wife, man.
No, I do it because we just having fun. Now, she gets mad, and sometimes she would be like, yo, take that. I look a mess. But I also...
But the candidates are cool, though. I get what you're saying.
But I also am married to a woman who, yo, my girl posts 3 times a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she don't do the internet, right? Now, I get why people say it's public, why you want to be public, because I believe on your social medias, you do share what's important to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people do that. They show whatever that may be. It might just be sports. It might be them cooking. It might be them shaking ass. It might be them and their family. So I believe in that. Now, if you want to be private, I'm not mad at somebody who's like, I'm never mad at the girl who pop out and be like, I have a husband. I know at least 2 chicks right now who are happily married and their men are nowhere on their profile.
Yeah.
Now, they not doing no come holler at me shit either.
Yeah.
Right? But I get it. Now, what I don't like is, here's my man, here's his face blurred out. Because what's the like, Keita Rose, all right, cool. I want you to know I have a man because you in my DMs. What happened to know I got a man?
Yeah, or not responding.
Or not responding.
And that's why I said when I was like, this is where you start losing me.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That would be like me posting the pic, and then every time I post a pic, I never show the girl's face. Like, that's weird, right? Because what am I flexing at this point?
Absolutely.
But if it's private, you know, like we just like, hey, I just don't want to post, you know, my kids, my family, you know, for whatever reason. I get that. Because again, that's me. Like you can see me all you want.
Yeah.
You can see where but here, this is the thing though. Like I'm also the type of person, if I'm somewhere, I don't post when I'm somewhere.
Facts.
Like, so it's not even just something where it's like, yo, I'm just trying to protect people. I just grew up in that era where you don't drop your location.
Yeah. And then also, you and your child's mother aren't together. Nobody don't know what rules y'all have.
Exactly.
Because some people, like, I give you an example, Ice from Joe Budden.
Yeah.
He said him and his girl made a decision, especially when they split. Like, we are not putting her on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing that. So I'm never mad at people who say, hey, I have this. I have 2 cousins right now. These 2 dudes can run for president if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Why? They have no social media footprint ever.
At all. That's
At
crazy.
all. Like, nowhere.
Yeah.
I only think these niggas on LinkedIn.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a big thing.
In
now.
a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's cool. So some people do have that. So I can understand if it's like, hey, I got a man, whatever. If you know, whatever. But like, I hate, and this is one photographer. I don't even call you a photographer, sis. And you try to threaten to sue us too. But whatever. You know what time it is. She used to always blot her man face out. And I'm like, cool. Now, Keita Rose, I wish y'all would tell the truth.
What's that?
Yo, I got a good man. He do this for me. He do that for me. And one of them girls want to go and taste. They want to go and try. Because that's what they do. Dudes don't never see like, yo, I don't never post my girl. And if I'm posted, let me go DM this dude's girl and see what's up.
Yeah.
That don't happen. But the girls will.
And that's probably not what I think most guys think. It's like, yo, other dudes gonna want to crack my girl. Because if you got a fine girl, you know other dudes want to crack anyway. Like,
facts.
That's just, I mean, if she ain't fine, dudes want to crack.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I don't think men really sitting there like, yo, I ain't posting her because I don't want dudes to go at her. But I do think it's one of those things where it's like, yo, I don't need any extra arguments.
Yeah.
Because someone want to be funny, right? Someone want to be like, oh, I saw your man here, or your man was in my DM, and I don't have time for all that, man.
Absolutely. And you know what's funny is when me and Rena first started dating, I was online talking shit somewhere. And I remember me and her wasn't even dating. We was talking, but everybody knew that was my girl.
Yeah.
You had met her, you know, we hanging out. Everybody know like, all right, that's Gavin's girl. And I remember somebody went on her picture and started talking shit because of me.
Yeah.
And I remember I knew this girl. The girl, it was a chick who was talking shit.
Yeah.
And so I went up, I hit the girl up on the side, offline. I said, yo, if you want to play this game, we can play it, but it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she don't know you. She don't know what's going on. She don't know what me and you got going on. So what you doing, you found her, you talking trash, you doing this in her profile. And then I told her straight up, I said, my girl will beat your ass. And I said, I know you and I know her. I know how strong she is. And she will beat your ass. And I said, I can't help you. I love telling chicks that, by the way, when they talk trash. Like, I can't help you. My girl's strong. Don't ask me how I found out. But I can't stop her.
Yeah.
If she
wants you. See, another reason to just be like, yo,
mind your business.
I'm not sharing my chick. I don't know. Maybe when I'm 60, I'll change my mind. I'll be semi-retired.
Nah, you good. You grew up in a different generation.
Yeah,
like
I did.
Because them niggas will. Y'all love saying, hey, I ain't gonna be home for 2 weeks. My apartment is not being watched. I'm in a different country.
Yeah.
I have no cell service or Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Look, and I just bought a new Rolex that's sitting on my front desk.
Exactly.
Like y'all love doing
that's
shit.
definitely a new generation. But like, yeah, I'm just from a generation where it's like, yeah, you know, share what you want, right? Share who you are. Like, you know, come see me. But yeah, leave everybody else alone. I would do Dennis. Leave everybody else alone.
Facts.
I am Gavin B. Welcome to service. Sit down. The Black Dad's Club.
What the hell
Isn't
is
he
the
from
point of this
Carolina?
podcast?
Let's do it like that.
Who?
Dude,
I think so. I can look that up.
I'll get you out.
Trying to say black.
He is being a 100% Carolina type guy right now.
South Carolina.
Sometimes I gotta push back.
Ooh, who got the worst F voice? North or South Carolina?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh man, I don't know. It's neck and neck.
It is neck and neck. I will say that y'all the scariest out of the two. I tell everybody that. Like, I don't play with South Carolina people. I love when people talk trash. And like, I remember somebody was asking, oh, they had the whole, you remember like 100 whatever versus 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
So they did like the 100 North Carolina dudes versus the 100 South Carolina dudes.
Yeah.
And everybody in the comments that was from North Carolina was like, leave them alone. Like, them country boys are different.
Yeah, it's a little different in the Carolinas. People find it out even in college, man. You get a lot of East Coasters come to college campus. They find out real quick, like 2 weeks into campus, like, yeah,
It's not fair.
this is a no fight zone.
Yeah.
It's the reason why nobody's fighting around here.
Yeah, people crash out and not care. I want to welcome everybody to episode 182 of the Black Dads podcast, Black Dads Club, podcast. That is Pastor Mike Will, who told y'all that it's too many feminine men in the pulpit, and y'all agree, technically.
Oh, I didn't even check the comment section out.
Oh yeah, it's cool. I am Gavin B. Funny enough. Please check us out. This is episode 182. We are moving. We are getting close to the 200s. When we get to the 200s, hopefully Mimi, Marcia, Clea, and Karina, somebody buys 200 balloons. Just number 200, not 200 balloons. I ain't cleaning that shit up.
Yeah, number 200.
Get the ones from Amazon. Put 200 up in here. Actually, Mimi, that's on you. Too bad you ain't gonna see this for like 3 weeks. This episode is brought to you by No Grease Premium in Northlake Mall. Please go check them out. They do have a $5 drinks during the week. Go in there, tell them Gavin sent you, and get you a drink.
Is that at both locations? I was just in there on Thursday.
Did you get you a drink?
I didn't.
See?
I was in and out. I'll holler at y'all at your boy though. He said he had a good time on his trip.
He tell you he's in love?
I ain't gonna talk about it because I don't know him like that. Talk about him on the pod.
You can just say yes or no. They don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he said he. I get it. I can't even hate on it. Get it. I get it.
I'll tell you something off mic.
I
got it. Remind me. Remind
I
me.
got you.
I told you he asked, how do you get papers? I said, yo, get the fuck off my phone, man. He's like, nah, for real. Shout out.
I know an immigration lawyer if he needs one.
See, there you go. Shout out to Active Dads. We got a couple of events for June. Shout out. All right, so the next event, Ice Creams with Dad, is set Saturday, the 7th, if you're listening. We're going to be at Camp North End from 2 to 3:30. I am going to let y'all know this. I will be there from 2 to 2:45. Then I got another event to go to. So if you want to pull up on me, pull up. It's going to be at Camp North End. We're going to get some ice cream.
Remind me, I'll be out there.
All right, cool, bet.
So Pastor Mike will be out there. I am Gavin B. will be out there with Active Dads. I believe that's what Mod Father, right?
Yeah,
So,
shout out to him.
Yeah, everybody come out, man. We'll be out there on Saturday.
And then on the 12th, they're going to have the Dad Fit link up. They have released what they want everybody to dress like. I think it's hilarious. I ain't that old, so I ain't wearing these old ass outfits. But that's at the 12th at Pins and Mechanical at 7. I will be there. If you want to come pod in person, I will point you to Mike's social media so you can contact him and pod in person. I don't do that unless you don't like what I got to say, and I love to laugh in y'all face about that. June, happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
That's it, fellas.
Look,
This month is ours. Make sure nobody gets on your nerves this month.
Look, you know what's funny? Last night, Karina was like, why is there so many Father's Day commercials? I'm just dunking on my girl this whole podcast. And I was like, what you mean? And she was just like, yo, I just felt like I've never seen this many. I'm like, finally, because y'all catching up.
Exactly.
And then she did say something. She was like, she didn't see that many Mother's Day commercials this year. And I was like, for me, I feel like the same. Also, I don't watch a lot of public TV or
a TV that has commercials in it, to be honest.
I don't watch that. But yeah, let's play this clip. And then we can have a discussion about mental health. Because I'm really into this section. Yo, I hate my phone, man. Hold on, y'all. Don't.
Where we starting today? I think it's the 25 second mark.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Well, you said 133. You want me to start there? Or you want me to start early?
2 or 3.
133 mark, my bad.
Cool. See, Mike threw me off.
You know what I mean? So like my wife's mother's sick. My mother she's not sick, but she's just needs a lot of care because she's blind. I got a brother I got to take care of who's locked up. I got his son who's not
Mark
locked up, who I got to
speaking
care for
on
because he's 13
JBP.
and black and outside. You know what I'm saying? And a good kid, but just a lot of that. I got my
Your
own.
brother's gonna be locked up for how much longer?
He'll be home in year and a half.
Oh, congrats.
Year and a half.
All right, fans.
He ain't gonna stop taking care of him.
Sigh
in
of
a half.
relief. I thought that the Reno would be more than I was bargaining for, but
So that conversation came up because Mark Lamont Hill, who's a host on the Joe Budden podcast, who I told y'all he was gonna win Potter of the Month 3 months in a row, and he did it. And he just smoked it
Best edition.
of all time.
Yeah.
He told the cast that he's depressed, or he fighting depression.
He's fighting depression. Yeah.
And
Because they were talking about, here's the thing, I don't even think they were talking about Men's Mental Health Month. I just think they end up having the conversation. It is Men's Mental Health Month, so it's like, yo, it's a good place to put these two things together.
yeah,
And he's talking about him having to work because there's so much pressure on him because so many people are depending on him.
yeah,
So, he taking care of his nephew. He's taking care of his mom. Obviously, he has to take care of himself. I believe he's married.
he is married.
So he has to take care of, his family.
And he just found out he has another kid.
Yeah. So, that is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. I think sometimes we just look at men and we be like, yo, they just doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, no, he's telling you, like, yo, I'm under a lot of pressure right now.
And you know what's interesting? I said a couple weeks ago that he's under a lot of pressure as well.
Yeah.
And I think, especially for them, maybe like not Mark, but Ice, and I know Mark has fought this for way longer. People start seeing you do stuff and they start thinking you got money. People be thinking I be making money because I be on these. They think if they see you on the internet, you must got some change. And I'm like, it don't work that way, right?
At all.
Mark Lamont Hill, if I see you on Fox, I see you on CNN. Sometimes we mistake being famous for being wealthy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is why you get a Bow Wow.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Who's struggling.
Good example.
And I feel every time I hear Bow Wow speak, I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Because he's still lost in I'm super famous and I make the same amount of money y'all make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever that could look like, right?
Yeah.
And so we seeing, if I'm Mark Lamont Hill and I'm seeing that you on Fox, you on CNN, you on TV.
Yeah.
And they even asked him, they said, yo, you do your live show every night. And he's like, I make too much money from it and I got to pay out all this other money that I force myself. And he's not taking care of his body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He got into that. What you do to take care of your mental health?
So that's the first question, right? Like, two questions that I got from this clip. One, when do you say no? If you can say no, right? To everybody that's dependent on you. And then two, like, how do you reset your mental health? And like one of the things that I had to start doing is, and I didn't lose weight. I literally was just doing it for my mental health was I would walk every day. Right? Like my stress level got to such a point, man, that I had to go walk. And then what ended up happening is like if I would start getting frustrated during the day, I'd be like, all right, let me go on a walk. I would get dressed, put on my shoes, I'll go on a walk. Like I started at like 2 miles. Well, actually, I started probably like 1.5 miles. Then I upped it to 2. And like now, I probably walk like 3.5 miles a day. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it resets. You're outside in nature. You paying attention to nature. I see the squirrels. I see the birds. I saw a black squirrel one time. Those are super rare. I see the snakes. You know what I'm saying? I see the earthworms that didn't make it back, before the sun came out. And it's just like, it just resets you.
Yeah.
So like that's one of the things that, and I recommend that to like a lot of friends when they be like, because I got a lot of guy friends because we're all under pressure. Like we're all between 35 and 50. We all have families or families that we have to take care of that we're not in the home, kids, bills, student loans, dating. It's a lot of pressure. And I always recommend like, hey, go for a walk.
Yeah.
So
and me,
and I drink too much. It's the second thing I do for my mental health.
Yeah, me too. Literally, I told Ben and them, I was like, my family is driving me to drink.
Like,
And it really wasn't. I think Ro just like jumped on my back. He ran and I heard a yell and he just put his knee in the middle of my back. And I'm like, and he just having a ball. So he laughed, he get up and he tried again. I'm like, yo. But anyway, I had to learn to say no. Yeah. It's no other thing than that. That's bruh, you could call me for any photo shoot and if you knew me good enough, it was a yes.
Yeah.
If I knew you didn't have it, it was a yes.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that hurt a lot, I had a cousin hit me up for a photo shoot, dog. And so this is what made me start saying no. This shit upset me so much that I called my homeboy. He was like, you got to start saying no. And cousin hit me up. She was starting a business. Y'all need some photos. So I said, I bet. And I said, how much you want to pay? She was like, just give me your price. And I said, nah, you don't want that. Because I knew she didn't have it, right?
Yeah.
And I said, look, I have an Amazon list. And it has all the equipment I need to like enhance my business. I said, it's something on there as low as $60 and the stuff on there as high as a couple $100. I don't need you just get something, whatever you want. And she told me, nigga, get the fuck out of here.
What?
And I think after that, so
after that, you had no problem saying no, I bet after that.
Well, so I went because I'm thinking she playing.
Yeah.
So I did the shoot for her and it wasn't a lot. And I remember she said, yo, I'm going on vacation after this. And I'll get you when I get back. And I looked at her and I said, you for real? And she said, yeah. And I said, one, I haven't spoken to her since then.
Yeah.
And then after that, I hit my homeboy up and I was like, bro, I had something literally on there for $40 fucking.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, like my photo shoot started at a couple $100.
Yeah.
And back then they started at a couple $100. But I was like, yo, I'm willing to let you do something on this. And this is going to help my business. And when she thumbed her nose up at me, and it wasn't even that, I think she just didn't take me serious enough. I said, you know what? It's a no from here on out. Like, I got to learn to say no. My homeboy explained that to me.
Yeah.
He said, if you can't, he said, and he told me something. He said, even if you don't want to tell somebody no, tell them I say, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And he's like, then you could think it over, come up with a plan instead say no. He's like, versus you just say yes to whatever. And then you hoping that they going to uphold that. So like now, like, first of all, if you are my friend or family and you invite me somewhere, you think I'm about to take pictures? If you ask me, can you take pictures at this?
Yeah.
I will plan another shoot your day.
Yeah.
I would literally make sure that I'm available to the public so that your day get taken and I can hit you up and say, I can't do it no more. So that's one thing. But I had to learn to say no. And then I had to learn to like, yo, I got to get out of this office.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I come here every day besides Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes I be here on Saturday. Sometimes I be here on Sunday. So sometimes it could be 7 days a week in here. But out of this office, like sitting at home, you know what I'm saying? My girl, I have a great girl. See, I'm not kicking you back in. But she'll just be like, yo, go out.
Yeah.
Go with these people. Go do that. Also, I had to get I had to get away from people who were just like wanting to stay at a certain level.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of, again, right, going into men's mental health is a lot of times it's hard for people that have close proximity to you to see that you're different, that you're growing, that you're elevating. And then a lot of times that is frustrating, right? Like, people that grew up with, I am Gavin B probably don't recognize it like, Gavin's one of the top photographers in the Southeast, right? That's probably hard for them to even, fathom. One of the guys, you grew up with him more than I did, right? But he's like the biggest food influencer, shit in the country right now. Yeah, shout out to Bernard. Yeah, and it's probably a lot of people that still look at him and just be like, oh, that's just Bernard. Yeah. And it's like, that's not just Bernard anymore.
Absolutely.
This is one of the biggest food influencers
in the country.
Absolutely. Right? And so there's a respect that has to be given that a lot of times, and again, right, this goes into men's mental health. It's just not given. Yeah. And if we don't remove ourselves from that environment, it starts to bother us. Like, damn, like I said the same thing. Why you ain't listening to me? Yeah. Or I told you to do the same thing. Why? And that just starts to weigh on you, right? And then it becomes all this pressure, which goes back to your point. I think a lot of times we just got to say no and start separating ourselves, a little bit.
And I'll say this before we kick Cardi back in.
We'll kick her back in.
I love Cardi.
Yeah, I like her.
I wish. She's no longer married, so that's not just
it's not. Yeah, she's not married.
I would say this: getting rid of people or letting people go will ease your mind so much more, right?
Yeah.
I laugh at some of the people that I was cool with before this podcast started going up. Mike was around. Well, clearly Mike was around. Mike was here. But me and Mike used to have like pity party conversations about, yo, it's only 20 people listening to this motherfucker. Week after week after week, right?
Yeah.
And some of y'all was cool with us when we was doing that.
Yeah.
Then the numbers started hitting, and then your friends sending you stuff, and then you can't defend it, and then you not saying, and then so it's people it's clients who I no longer talk to. It's friends that I had when we started this podcast who I no longer associate with on any level, right? And sometimes letting those people go and saying like, all right, now God has placed new people around me. Let me embrace this.
Yeah.
And understanding that, hey, new people around you will elevate you. They'll take pressure off of you. Yeah. Right? It was a lot of old people I used to hang out with. I used to do a lot of photo shoots. And let me put it like this. When I do something free for somebody for those hours, that's time that I can't do with people that are paying me. And so, and it becomes tough and it becomes hard. And then your heart ain't in it. And it's just tough there. So allowing that, just getting away. And then so I take those breaks. Me and my girl taking a vacation this summer, which grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and drinking helps. And it shouldn't.
Probably it shouldn't, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I love her. Y'all can't make me hate Cardi B. Y'all really can't. I do love, before we get to this Cardi B topic, yesterday they had a best areolas conversation on Twitter. This is why I'm never giving up Twitter.
I saw that.
And Cardi made the top 3, but what I loved about it was they hashtag Yolas. That was the hashtag. So if you click Yolas yesterday, you will see nothing but areolas all over Twitter. And I love that. Especially, for us who like tits, Mike go and look it up. This was great. See, Mike didn't even know this existed yesterday. But for a little backstory, we all know what's up with Cardi B and Offset. He cheated a bunch of times. She kept taking him back. Finally, they split. The rumor was that she was messing with Stefan Diggs. That rumor has since been confirmed.
Definitely no longer a rumor.
Yeah, they're definitely no longer a rumor. And Offset deleted social media yesterday right before a couple of crash out statements. We did not talk about it.
Wow.
Told you. Yola.
Oh, wow.
The joke is, what y'all think I say to Mike? Me and my girl had this conversation yesterday. Because I was like, yo, look at this. Yeah. So she just like, yo, I know what this motherfucker like. But anyway, with this conversation, Offset, we didn't know. Apparently, Offset asked for spousal support. I've never been through the court system, but I guess what he was saying is Cardi B is asking for X amount. And with that, if his lawyer's like, the thing that you counter back with is that you want spousal support. Now, I've said this many times. I put this in our group chat.
Yeah.
Ez was the first one who said we need to study this. But the fact that when Offset met Cardi, she was worth $2 million and he was worth 25.
Yeah.
And today he's worth $30 million and she's worth 100. Don't make sense. I don't know how. Cardi ain't put out no album. She ain't no brand person. I don't care what.
She's a hustler though, man.
She is a hustler.
And I used to always tell y'all I love strippers. Like from back in the day, I love strippers. And not like I love strippers, like I love going to strip club. Those girls be sharp.
They do.
They be really, really sharp. And like she is sharp. She's problematic. We don't have to sit here and pretend that Cardi B's an angel. That she is not. She's definitely problematic. But this is what I love about the whole Offset, Stefan Diggs debacle is it goes to show you how women are with their man and how they are with the dude that they just having fun with. They just
expound.
Stefan and Offset is the same guy.
Absolutely. Everybody knows that.
They're not different, right?
They're not.
But Stefan is getting everything that Offset wanted.
Well, according to Cardi, she gave Offset all of that.
Yeah.
He still...
And that's why I caveat it, right? This is also a good example of don't lie. Just don't lie to your woman.
Facts.
Because I do believe Stefan Diggs is just like, I'm wild, but this is what I like. This is the truth, right? And I think Offset was just like, okay, I'm doing too much. Let me sneak and do. I never understand you guys that women don't mind you having other women and you cheat on them. It is the most mind-boggling thing I have ever seen in my life.
And then she was even willing to take you back after you cheated. Well, she did take you back after you cheated, but the last chick, on your birthday, she was like, yo, this is my.
You too greedy, guys. It's greed. It's a lack of dick discipline.
It is.
Like, bruh, like appreciate.
Stop cheating with birds.
Well, I mean, they're rappers. That's what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They're not the smartest.
And at some point, we're going to need to talk about this Bow Wow, Ray J to Future to rappers pipeline of women to football players.
Bow Wow is a sniper.
Bow Wow and Ray J.
Yeah, especially Bow Wow. That nigga is.
They grab him first, and then next the rappers get him, and then it goes from the rappers to the football players. And I know how the football players get him because the football players actually have money.
I'm laughing at you not considering Bow Wow as a rapper. That's the funny.
Bow Wow's an entertainer, man.
He is. He's an actor rapper.
Yeah. He's an entertainer. His rapping is in the past, but at some point we're gonna have to examine that pipeline, man. Like how do y'all go through that whole pipeline?
It's the athletes. Well, they all got the same intelligence level, and it's not high. And we could be real.
Yeah.
Football players are smarter than basketball players. No disrespect, but
they actually go to more college. Most of them finish college. Well,
absolutely.
Well, however they finish college.
And the linemen are the smartest.
Yeah.
The other ones. But, the fact that Stephon Diggs is on a boat with hoes, shaking Tootsie around like it's just.
Well, we do not know that they were
a
hoes.
pink powdery substance. They chicks.
Okay.
They just excuse me, I use that term in the wrong way. He has some chicks that they found, you know what? That looked like a fun ass boat though.
It does look like a fun boat.
If I was
I don't do drugs.
Me either.
But it does look like a fun drug. Fun boat.
Fun boat.
Fun drug. I have heard that Tussie is a fun drug.
I wouldn't know.
Not for me.
Yeah, I'm not a powder guy.
I'm not. I can't even smoke weed anymore, man. My body just rejects all drugs that are not alcohol.
Yeah, and same.
I can't even smoke.
Same. So, I mean, but the big drama that came out was Stephon Diggs got his hair done.
Oh, yeah.
And Offset's son had his hair done.
The same way as Stephon.
Identical. Big deal or no deal?
I think you got to recognize that. I tell y'all guys all the time when you're like breaking up with your woman, your girlfriend, or your wife, they are not your friends in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how great it was. When y'all going through a breakup, women fully embrace all is fair in love and war.
Mm-hmm.
They fully embrace it. So whatever's going to bother you, they're going to do it.
And you are talking about one of the most famous people in the world in Cardi.
Yeah.
Who has a way larger following than you.
Yes.
And something so subtle. She ain't said your name.
She even said, right? She just, but because she know that they're going to notice it.
And
now, is it foul?
you.
It is definitely foul. Like, you did it for a reason.
Well, what if her son asked for it?
No son looks at another man and be like, oh, I want his hairstyle.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
They look at somebody, I want my hair cut like this. The young boys literally, the barbershops have changed their charts to be what the rappers got.
No.
Yes, they do.
Cardi's son is like, what, 3, 4? He did not look at Stephon. For one, shouldn't be mean people kids, but y'all do that. So whatever.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Y'all do what you want. But
yeah, they do.
But he did not look at it and was like, "Ooh, mom, I want my hair like Stephon." That is not what he said.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That is not what he said.
I've literally been in the barbershop.
Now Cardi is a Dominican, so there's a good chance that she did Stephon hair and her son's hair.
Her hair.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing. I didn't see Cardi's daughter's hair done.
Yeah.
It be designed just like that.
Yeah, so it's a good chance. Like she's a Dominican, so it's a good chance she did, but she definitely did it on purpose.
Cardi ain't
though.
doing no damn hair. Don't let her lie to y'all.
Yeah, I can see her wanting to do her quote unquote her man's hair, fun boy, and then do the son too. Yeah, women. That petty muscle is strong in women.
Cardi make too much money to be sitting down.
Bro, you
3-4
do not
hours
underestimate the petty muscle in a woman, bro. I can see her. I can see her doing both of them.
Look, at the same time,
I can see her doing both of them, bro.
I didn't see kids be like, "Yo, I want NBA YoungBoy's haircut." I didn't see kids go up and be like, "Oh,
Stephon is not that known enough for your son to be
if I'm
like."
seeing your son every day, I am.
Yeah, and mom egging you on. Do you want your hair like Stephon?
Exactly. That's what I can say. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like.
Cool. Let me braid it at the same time.
Yeah.
Offset, I'm gonna tell you this.
Don't crash out.
Don't crash
out.
That's all I wanted to say.
Don't crash
I was trying to find a nice way to say it. You can't do it. And you can't put online that you're willing to crash out. And plus, I don't think Stephon is that messy to let you crash out over your son, because I don't think he care. He know what he there for.
I think Stephon is there to have a good time with Cardi. And I think he knows. I mean, Stephon, like, don't he got like 3 baby mamas himself? Oh, that's his brother.
I don't know. I don't know. It might be him. I just know that the rumor was Stephon was messing with her when she was pregnant with that little boy. connection might be closer than
pregnant box.
Especially from Cardi. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Yo, shout out to Cardi B.
With that being said, however, the way that everybody is enjoying Cardi B, enjoying her Stephon Diggs moment. Why we can't get Papoose to enjoy his moment with Clarissa Shields? What is the difference here?
What's the difference?
What is the difference?
Well, it's 2-on-2 versus 2-on-1. It's easy to block Captain, who looks just like Papoose, who is a rapper just like Papoose.
Yeah.
And he with Remy Ma, and they been, playing their games versus Clarissa Shields, who just got here, but now, one is a shooter, she's a boxer.
Yeah.
They got very similar. You know what? The sad part about them two is like, they just playing in the mud right now. Papoose and Remy Ma, and y'all were seen as we don't play in the mud type people.
Yeah, they were the ideal couple on what was that show? Love and Hip Hop?
Yeah, but even the way he handled her, like while she was in jail, he stood by her, he did this. And now you coming out talking about he broke. Now you talking about she don't write her raps. It's muddy over there. And I honestly, I feel bad, and it's corny.
Yeah, but I'm happy for him with Clarissa Shields because she seemed like she really likes him.
Yeah. And he seemed like he really liked her too.
Yeah.
Now what Remy and Easy doing, I don't know. Y'all look corny.
Remy's definitely doing the crash out on that side. And I get it, right? You got a way younger woman that's establishing her own right in what she does, for a living, right? And to be honest, I think she's the best women's boxer right now.
Remy don't want to find out.
Remy a shooter.
Yeah,
so
never mind. She
neither one needs to find out because I like both. I like Chris. I like Remy.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, what Papoose have going on right now with Clarissa, no one really likes, right? But we look at what Cardi has going on with Diggs. So much so that even Essence Magazine is like sometimes the best revenge. Oh, how did they say it? Like what? Essence.
Where's that post at?
Hold on. I think I saved it the photos. What did Essence say here? Essence said...
Essence, now y'all know better than this. This was disgusting work.
Sometimes your lick back is just having a good time. And it's a picture of Stephon and Cardi in her red bottoms on a boat, wherever they are. And this is posted to Essence Instagram. I don't like that getting my lick back type conversation. I don't like that.
If I'm Cardi, I don't like it.
Yeah, well, if I'm Cardi, I definitely don't like it because everybody's celebrating it, but you kind of saying that she's just to be had fun with.
Yeah, and if I'm Cardi, I'm looking at this like I'm having a good time. I'm having fun. Like I am having a good time. I'm having fun. But the deeper meaning is that Essence, who has a whole festival, who caters to Black women, who speaks directly to Black women, thinks that this is cute for you. Like you are the sex worker who turned into a reality star, who transformed into a superstar.
Yeah.
Who, for the betterment of the world, like Cardi, I've said this plenty of times. Travis Scott has put out 3 albums since your last album. Nipsey has passed. COVID has happened since your last album. Pusha T he's working on his 3rd album.
Yeah.
Since it's going on. I can't remember who else was in that. And you haven't put out music, but
I don't think she's going to put out music because I think Cardi.
Why would she?
She caught lightning in a bottle.
She did.
And she's at a point now where I don't care what she put out, it will be so criticized, even if it was good. Because, what do we always say about this country? The second most favorite thing that they love to do is build you up.
Yeah.
But the most favorite thing in this country?
Rip your ass down.
Tear you down, man. And I think she knows that.
She does. And then the other flip side of it is like Cardi bigger than all that. And then y'all find it's like, whatever. But I'm not mad at Essence.
And she probably is in a terrible deal. So like, why make another album?
They redid her deal.
They redid it?
Yeah, because she did. So, if I'm telling y'all I'm never putting out music again unless y'all fix my album. And my first album did what it did. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she deserved a Grammy. However, you can't argue with stats. Sometimes the stats are so good that we got to give you the finals.
Yeah.
And so it happens. But Essence is doing what I expect Essence to do. Essence has an audience, and I'm not here to sugarcoat it. Their audience is Black women. Now, they have to cater to all types of Black women. but I don't think they are catering mostly to educated, married, double household women.
They probably done tuned out by now.
We can get this off. We know what type of game it is.
Yeah.
And so when Essence is trying to mirror Baller Alert, then it is what it is. When I clicked on that, you know what Essence did? They was in the comments responding to people. Somebody literally wrote, "Who is right in this?" And they wrote back, "We are. What's up?" Like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
What 22-year-old in college that did y'all hire as an intern that thought this is the caption? But you know what? You probably got somebody from Baller Alert, neighborhood, whatever, shade room, and you thinking this shit is cute, but it is what it is. But however, one of my favorite clips on the internet, I keep telling y'all, these is one of the greatest clips ever. Let me play something for y'all. That's what you dance to. No. I want to get straight to Tyler Perry. We not even finna let this
tomatoes.
Kenny Burrs,
Let me just tell you about the tomatoes. I don't fuck with them. You don't fuck with tomatoes? I don't give a damn about a rotten or a fresh. None of that means shit to me. That's amazing. What about critics? I don't give a bug. I guess that's amazing. Can I just tell you why? Let me tell you Please. Because listen, man, I know that I'm telling stories that my folks want to see. I'm talking from our point of view. We're speaking a language. We're speaking a shorthand that we get, that white people don't necessarily get. Nina Simone said this, and I never forgot it. She said, "You will use up everything you got trying to give everybody what they want." You got to focus, man. And you know what I do? I super serve my niche. We speak a language. We're talking. We know each other. We get it. There's a lot of times I see shit that win Oscars, I be like, what is this shit? I walked out halfway through it. I don't get it. But and listen, I feel like they feel the same way about my work. They don't get it, which is all cool.
This is true.
So when Tyler Perry announced during BET last night that he's dropping a new show called Divorced Sisters, I can no longer get mad at Tyler Perry. You know why? Because he has told me the game he's willing to play. He's told me he's willing to double, triple, quadruple down in
his niche
area. And it's his niche. He's super servant, and you can't get mad. It's
Can we ask the question? Is Tyler Perry putting out positive, productive shows, or is he putting out stereotypical, negative, divisive shows?
I think it's depending on who you ask. I can't answer that. I ain't watched a Tyler Perry film in probably a decade and a half. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, based off the titles, I can guess, and I still think that's depending on who you ask, because I ain't his niche. He ain't putting out shows for black men.
No, he's not.
You know, he's looking at, all right, what are black women into? When you, first of all, the fact that you're using sisters and you're not even spelling it correctly, let me know what type of women you're looking for, right? Then when you saying divorced, and then I hear the storyline, I'm like, why is this necessary? But people go through divorces, right? They want to get back outside.
And here's the thing, right? If that becomes the culture, right? Like if he's saying it, this is my niche, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm creating a show called Divorced Sisters, right? Mm-hmm. As a productive black man, right? How do you move in that environment, right? How do you move in an environment where the niche is saying, yo, this show right here is something that I enjoy?
Well, you probably won't be into that niche. You won't even be in that area. That's the other thing I look at, especially with Tyler Perry. The type of women he speaks to, I don't run into.
True, but it's to a certain extent though, because after a while things become just culture, right? Like TV can just become culture, music just becomes culture, right? Like, so when you have because this won't be the only show, right? If this show is successful, it'll be several shows based around this niche.
Yeah, the show before this is called Sisters.
Yeah. So if that becomes the culture, where does that leave productive black men? The top third of men. Like, where does that leave you if this becomes the culture, right? Especially when you have a black man that is pushing this, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it puts us in a place where we say we're not associating with this.
Yeah.
Because the problem, I think what you're getting at is, what happens is this group of people, they continue to grow.
Yeah.
And it gets bigger and bigger. Well, our environment has to get bigger and bigger as well.
Yeah.
And the problem is,
because what I think we're witnessing in this country, I think a lot of time we think it's a gender war. And I'm starting to realize that I don't think it's a gender war. I think it's a culture split right now that's going on. Like, not just in the black community, just all like America in general, right?
Yeah.
We're going through a culture split right now.
Yeah.
And you'll find yourself being a productive black man over here on the side with people, and you're like, whoa, how are you on my side, right?
Yeah.
Because we're going through this culture split. And I wonder if our community, right, we're looking at it like a gender war when the truth of the matter is It is a cultural split right now.
A couple of us is sitting at the wrong lunch table.
Yeah, it's a cultural split.
Yeah, and so I look at it and so I remember I told y'all about this maybe a couple weeks ago. I think I put in a group chat, and I'm like, I ain't mad at Tyler Perry no more because he's made it clear. I like when people make it clear. I'm speaking to a very distinct thing. We're gonna talk about Pusha T in a little bit, but I remember when he used to say all the time, I make music for a particular group of people.
Yes.
I'm not worried about pop. I'm not worried about certain things. So it's interesting. I don't know how we're going to feel about this. Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to Mecklenburg. If you go to the Mecklenburg County Jail, there is a music studio in there for inmates.
Yeah. I think you only get to it, though, if you're locked up.
Yeah. You can't go rent it out.
Yeah, I don't think you rent it out.
That shit ain't going to be on Peerspace.
Yeah.
This pissed me off. I was hot last night. And I think the reason why I was hot is knowing that how much all this costs.
Yeah.
And you think about taxes and why is inmates in there recording music.
It just doesn't bother me as much. Maybe because I just paid attention to the California jail system for way too long. They can literally get cable TV in some of their jail. So
they be playing the game.
I think I think prisons have always been about separating citizens from people that can't act right. Right. So I never grew up thinking that prisons were about punishing people. That was always more of a supremacist, type scenario. And that only came to be when they saw so many blacks was being locked up. And this is pretty much mass incarceration during drug war, crack epidemic. And and look, I kind of bought into the whole drug war, lock people up, punishment thing until EMTs and the cops and teachers start carrying Narcan, right? They just did not treat the opioid epidemic, which is way more addictive than crack cocaine, the same as crack, right? So at that point, I realized I needed a lot more empathy for people that are locked up and incarcerated. And we no longer have mental hospitals anymore for the most part. Yeah. So we send most of those people to prison as well, instead of them being, somewhere at a, quote unquote asylum. So when I look at it and I see like, they're putting something in the prison, it's like, well, what is prison for? Is it just to separate people and rehab them? Or is it punishment? And I don't know. I think this country leans toward, well, you should have a miserable time versus, should we rehab this person? They're going to be released back in society at some point.
I don't need no jail albums or mixtapes.
You wouldn't take a jail album from Diddy and R. Kelly right now? A collab?
No.
With Tory Lanez writing?
Okay. We're getting somewhere.
Like, you want to take that album right now? That'd probably be a fire album, bro.
It probably would, but Diddy and R. Kelly or Tory, none of them niggas.
Not supporting any of these guys, by the way.
Absolutely
for whatever they,
not.
I'm just saying, like artistically speaking,
they need to be worried about other more important stuff. And R. Kelly is doing birthday calls, singing "Happy Birthday" over the jail phone.
He's selling that.
They are selling that.
It's not a bad hustle.
It's not a bad hustle. Shout out to the hustlers. I mean, I look at it. I thought about that, and then I thought about y'all putting this online. Y'all putting this out. It's on the news. Shout out to McFadden out there trying to do his best, trying to make everybody
make a
feel
positive spin.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, come on, do better. Because the first thing in my mind is, it ain't no white boys that they pushing this towards. It's the little black boys who about to be going to jail thinking, at least I get to make an album in there. Don't realize that, nigga, you just caught a body. You going to prison. Y'all, this is for the niggas who got time, who either waiting to go to prison or they got 12 months or less. I don't want you to be, I don't want you to say, I'm going to do weekend jail because I know the studio going to be open during that time.
I don't think anybody's going to jail for the studio. I'm not mad that they have a studio in prison, though. I do wish we get back to a point where we rehab, especially when we look at the over conviction and over policing of black males. Like, man, look, basketball court, library.
Make them niggas get degrees only.
Yeah. Give them jobs, like
something.
I'm with it. Keep them busy.
Keep them busy.
Keep them busy.
He said more labor. More free labor.
I'm with it.
I want to welcome everybody to the Ask a Black Dad's question of the week. If you want to submit a question or a quote or anything, please go to blackdadsclub.com. Go to join the show. Submit your question. If you do not want us to read off your real name information, please use something fake. And we will do it. We will say, because we're going to say the name, unless you say, do not say my name. And you better make that clear very early in the email, because I will get the reading. You can't say at the very end, don't say my name, Gavin, after I didn't already said everything. This one, I'm not for sure, because we do have a private group for only fathers. It's called the Black Dads Space on Black Dads Club Space on Facebook. And it's a private group for only men. If we find out you're a woman or identify as a woman, we will boot you.
This is true.
Because the Black Fathers private group is definitely women in there.
Yeah.
And they called one dude out last week. They was like, hey, bro, you only come in here and complain about black men. What's up? And I think that nigga was gone by the afternoon.
I actually left that group because it just got too infected with just everybody that hates black men.
Yeah. But I kept saying, I was like, I think we was talking about it outside of it. I'm like, yo, it's women in here. I don't know what it is. But you're right. That makes sense. So a guy said, any advice would be appreciated. Going to child support court in January. Damn, it is June. This nigga, we left this nigga.
Yeah, we left him hanging. Let's go ahead and ask for the next guy, though.
Yeah.
Our bad.
This nigga paying us.
I can only do 2 social medias, man. I'm on Twitter and Instagram right now. I'm sorry. I can only do 2.
This nigga is already, he might be locked up for child support checks.
No, not yet.
How do I prove I've been there since day one? Also, my kids live with me for almost a year. Does text messages work in court? Would my landlord word be enough proof my kids live with me? What other things should I bring to court or get prepared for proof?
Man. My bad. But one of the things, I actually got a guy that's going through this right now.
Oh, this for him then.
Yeah. No, this is another guy. I told him, like, the moment his wife left the home, right? That's actually considered abandonment. So I was like, it don't matter unless you get an attorney, go to court, but it could be considered abandonment because she moved out. So I was like, the first thing that you do is every night I said, dude, get a calendar. And I was like, every night you have the kids, you need to write that on that calendar going forward. I was like, do not take a break on this, right? Do not take it easy on her. Because I was like, as soon as she land on her feet, she's not gonna take it easy on you. So you have to document everything, right? Document everything, keep all of your receipts. You don't really have to rush because, for one, unless it's an emergency hearing, it takes forever to show up in family court. Like when I ended up in court, they only had 3 family court judges in Mecklenburg County.
Dang.
3.
And they in the studio.
This is the judges are. And like this is a county of what? It's 1 million people.
Yeah, it's 1 million. We're the 14th largest city now.
14th largest city. It's like they had 3 family court judges, bro, for the whole county, bro.
That's crazy.
So it takes 1.5 years to get to court. So now they can request an emergency hearing, but the emergency hearing most of the time is just for child support. So he probably already done experienced that. But what you do if you've had the kids, if she's left, one, get an attorney. If you can't get an attorney, just go down to the courthouse. They have like little public centers that can help you. But just make sure you document every night that you have the kids, make sure you document that. You can't go to court and just be like, well, and he asked if text messaging can help. They can. You can send all that stuff. Judges, they flip through it. They don't read all that stuff, man. Yeah. We was in and out. Because we had attorneys, the judge had already reviewed everything. Man, we was in and out. I paid for the whole day of court. I don't even want to say what I paid. And we was in and out in an hour. I was low-key annoyed.
Yeah.
So
we got him. That's what the lawyer said.
Yeah. I was low-key annoyed. But text message can work. But if you have a calendar, you just write got the kids, all that. Take pictures, stuff. Just document.
Me and y'all, we have to stop. It's gonna seem petty. And I'm a Law and Order SVU lawyer. That's all I am. Don't take none that I say to the court. And I watch Judge Mathis all day, every day when I edit y'all pictures. Too many times I see and I hear from men that talk to us and I've spoken to who just think shit gonna be sweet when I get in there. Like they gonna take your word.
No, they're not gonna take your word.
And I listen and I'm like, and I remember this. I ran into one of our listeners one day at the bar. And he told me, man, my mom told me when I had my son, save every receipt you had. Yeah. He said I showed up to court with 3 shoe boxes and they thought that it was shoes in there that I bought my kid. He said I opened them up and it was nothing but receipts. And he said the judge asked her where's her proof. Yeah. And he was like, she just had her word because she was ready to be petty. Yep. And he was like, the shit did not go well for her. Yep. And he said, sad enough, she admitted how much I was giving her. Mm-hmm. They calculated that it was too much. Yep. And they gave me a credit. Ooh. And he said, I wouldn't, if I didn't have proof. He said I had receipts, I had everything, I had documentations of everything. And so many times I hear dudes like, oh, it's all good. They gonna do this and that, and they don't realize until they get in there it's too late.
It's too late.
But yeah, that's from Pastor Mike.
She is not your friend, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care what she was prior. If y'all in court, she is not your friend.
Yeah, she is not. And she there to get hers.
She is there to get hers. And here's the thing. After y'all get through it, she's going to be right back to her natural self, and she's going to be seeming like she's your friend again. Mm-hmm. But when you go into court, bro, she is not your friend.
And then I'm laughing because let me tell y'all something, fellas. All these girls have Facebook groups, and they talking all of them. And they give each other advice.
All that advice. What to say, what to do, the playbook. I'm telling you.
What to text you to piss you off so they can use them text messages.
Real talk, bro.
Look.
Real talk.
It'd be funny, man. My sister in one group, it's called, are we allowed to expose this? It's called, well, it's a guys group. There's a group of a ladies group online. It's called, Are We Dating the Same Guy?
Oh, yeah. They done dropped me in there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Someone said, what did they say? I was controlling, chauvinistic.
Oh.
And controlling, chauvinistic.
I might have wrote that.
Yeah. I was like, it's somebody that dated me. I was like, you know, it's kind of spot on. I'm not controlling, not really chauvinistic. I do believe in gender roles. But I was like, well, that's somebody that know me.
And you know what?
But it wasn't a bunch of bad comments on there. But I was like, low key though, I was like, I don't like that. And that's what kind of stops me from dating local. Because I was like, I don't like that shit.
I don't say local. Shit. You mean Charlotte or you mean?
I mean Charlotte. I just mean Charlotte.
North Carolina.
I just mean Charlotte.
This continent. What are we doing here?
I just mean Charlotte, man.
And you know what's funny is I had one of my clients. You know, I posted a client of mine, and a girl hit me up crying at it. She was crying at this picture, like laughing. And I'm like, "What's the problem?" And she sent me my client in that group, and it was number of girls just killing this dude.
Oh,
and I had to block that nigga.
Man, you can't, because again,
nah, it was some assault stuff.
Oh,
and
okay.
It was a lot of stories, and it was a lot of ladies with the same story. I was like, all right, bro, I'm good on you. And clearly, I see why nobody liked your picture. He had a reputation.
Oh,
and here's the thing, I don't go outside, so I don't notice.
But here's the thing, man. It's like, yo, if you were young and dating, right? Like if that group would have existed when I was in my early 20s, right?
Gosh.
Like, come on, man. It's like you can't judge me for that because I'm out every night with someone different.
Oh, when you talking about that. But yeah. But
wait, no. Yeah, we're not talking about assault.
Yeah,
Hold on. This
is
not an excuse.
When I was in college, I was in college. You was there with me because you did your second round of college.
Yeah. I finished up.
Juicy Campus was busting off in Greensboro. And that was a thing. It was a message board. And you could go in there. You could talk about the girl who was the best eater. Girls knew who was the best dude.
See, I was
to
there
sleep
for
with.
school the second time around.
Yeah, you was. But it was like girls were saying, yo, this dude's a creep. Or this dude, he puts it down. This dude is what we call now a simp. Or this dude will pay for your groceries if you go on a couple of dates with him. Like it was one of those things. I think they got sued too. Which I don't agree with. If I create a message board and people come to my message board and air you out, am I technically responsible?
No, you should be responsible.
You shouldn't be, but I mean, I guess you got to have some type of privacy.
But also, I think there was a level of honesty that existed 10 years ago that does not exist on the internet now. The internet now is like low key, like salacious trolling, and that's what I kind of hate about the internet now. It's like, you know, like before, it would have truth to it. Yeah. Now you don't know what to believe. You don't know if it's true or not. Now you read something now, you be like, man, I don't. Yeah. This could be just somebody just trolling because they don't like the person.
And to be fair, a lot of people end up leaving those schools.
Yeah.
Because they had one of the message boards was called Rams That Like to Be Rammed. And it was all the girls from Winston-Salem.
Wow.
You know, they go by Rams.
Yeah. Well, I was definitely just in school for school the second time. And I was in Atlanta all the time. So I had my girl down there.
Shout out to Atlanta, man. My girl clowned me about a girl I was talking to in Atlanta yesterday. She said, yo, you was a loser.
No, come on, man.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, yo, she was a nice girl.
Yeah. We like nice sometimes. We don't always go for looks.
Right behind Mike, you will see one of the greatest albums of all time. It is by the man himself known as Pusha T. Daytona is an amazing album. I did see some Drake fan who I got the block yesterday talk about how they didn't like how Pusha T has Whitney Houston's bathroom picture as his album cover. And they were championing him. They was championing Kanye West. And they didn't saying how they don't like how Pusha is treating Kanye West. And I laugh because most people don't know Kanye bought that picture and he's the one who selected it for the album cover. But that's neither here nor there. Kanye has said it, Pusha T has said it, so I believe it. But anyway, Pusha T and his brother, No Malice now, his name is not Malice anymore. They are dropping an album on 7-Eleven. I'm telling y'all now, 7-Eleven, do not call me, text me, or whatever. I'm learning every lyric of that song. I am here for the luxury drug raps. I'm here for it all. I love it. You know, one of my favorite quotes from Pusha T is, they sell more albums than me, but we sleep with the same girls, we buy the same cars, and we got the same watch on. And that should let y'all know everything you should know about Pusha T. It's like, yo, these niggas is not as rich as y'all think. Yeah. Now, the big headline story, it's two headline stories from this. The one that's not so big is that Pusha T talked about why he don't talk to Kanye anymore. And he used the term, Kanye could see through my fakeness. And I don't see him as a man, and he knows I don't see him as a man. I found this very interesting, especially because I think a week ago, Kanye tweeted that he missed Pusha T.
Yeah.
And a lot of people try to fall in on that, yo, you was being fake with this man and he could see through it, whatever. And I think a lot of people don't understand that Pusha T said years ago that, yo, I don't hold Kanye to a personal level. I see him as a professional only.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't like that, especially when they think you should be their friend and you just using them professionally, transactionally. But now we get into this point now that there's a verse. Shout out to Kendrick. Hold on, let me show y'all my shirt. If this world was mine. This is a concert tee. Shout out. This is the one I bought for my girl that she told everybody she bought for me. So much so that she got it in her size. Now, I made sure we got a size that after we wash it, it will get to her size, but I can wear it one good time before then. And there's a verse from Kendrick Lamar on the Clips album that Def Jam said no. Take it off or edit the lyrics. And what ended up happening is they got dropped from their label. And Pusha T had to buy out his contract.
Yeah, he had to buy it out.
Now, fair or foul? And you can state from which part you think is fair or foul.
No, business is always fair. You know, when it's about money, it's always fair. But this is what I found interesting. And I'm going to read this from the article.
Let's go.
All right.
You know whose side I'm on.
So this is they this is an interview with Billboard. And they ask him, when you started to hear objections to Lamar verse on the Clips album, where were they coming from? Like, where's the objection coming from? Pusha T says, UMG has a department where they review lyrics. So it was that department, right? Mm-hmm. So every lyric, right? Because, you know, low key at the beginning of the whole Drake, Kendrick beef, everybody was like, hey, UMG has to be approving this, right? And everybody was just like, nah, Kendrick just pushing it out. Pusha T tells us right here that nah, UMG says yes or no before we could drop it. And then when you scroll down, they were like, he mentioned two songs in the interview with GQ, Rick Ross, Maybach Music 4, and Pop Smoke's Paranoia, where his verses were ultimately cut. Was that because of the same department scrutiny? All right. Pusha T says, yes. What happened on Pop Smoke's song is that UMG thought he was dissing Drake on that song. He wasn't, but they thought he was. Right. So twice UMG was like, nah, if you go after our top artist, we ain't going to let you drop it.
Yeah.
Right. And then this year, UMG was just like, we ain't doing nothing. What you talking about? This ain't got nothing to do with us.
Absolutely. But I think a lot of times, well, I look at it like this. Everybody has been telling the same story except for Drake. This story about the Young Thug, the Rick Ross, that is not different. Now, the story about Rick Ross is, that story with Rick Ross is with Wayne. Wayne approves every song that he's on with anybody else. Now, most of us know that Pusha T and Wayne don't like each other.
Yeah.
So Wayne hits the verse, he sends it to Drake. Drake gets it shut down. The thing with Young Thug and Drake are locked in.
Yeah.
Same thing. Young Thug shuts that down. It's like, no, Drake shuts it down. Now, my joke is this. Are we getting to a place now where we cool with I look at this whole Drake thing as like lyrics in court. Do we want? Is that what that's where we going?
No, we don't want lyrics in court, but I think we definitely need to be honest, even when it's not our guy, that the labels are pushing us, right? The labels are pushing the fights in between the artists.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the artists behind the scenes we already know now, like behind the scenes that you're like, yo, don't work with that guy. Can't say this. I can't be on the album where you said this against my man. I think we all knew that. But I think the labels have always kind of give us this bullshit answer of, no, we don't know what people be saying on the album. We just rubber stamp it and it moves on.
Yeah. Well, if you want to believe that, but I mean, we all been knowing for a decade Drake been doing this. Like, that's a known thing. And I think now we get into a point where it's like the labels is like, all right, bro, we gonna stop doing that for you. Now Drake is like, well, now I want to take y'all to court because he knows what they do already.
Yeah.
And so Drake is playing this game. And so this is why I found this whole thing about the clips getting dropped, which Def Jam, this is stupid. First of all, this is exactly why there's no more music labels. Because y'all playing games in hip hop that just like the real people are just like, I'm good on this. Like y'all playing too many games, so you don't get a Jay-Z doing music anymore. You don't get a Rihanna doing. It's too many games that's already being played.
Yeah.
So Drake been throwing rocks and hiding his hands for a decade, and then it comes out that all right, now Kendrick said something, you found it offensive. They let it go through. When you probably knew it was coming out, you didn't want it, whatever. And it's like, all right, cool, we approved it. Cool, it goes out, right? Cool. Now it's like, all right, hey, now the labels is back doing this. And if I'm the label right now, if I'm already in court with somebody who's suing over lyrics, yeah, we don't want this to be responsible. Maybe now every time somebody comes up, I'm guaranteeing you now, every lyric from if Joe Budden decides to do music right now, if Jay-Z decides to do music right now, Kendrick and Pusha T, if any new music come for them, especially because they have the so-and-so issues and Future, they're probably all getting reviewed because Drake's involved.
Well, I think Pusha's telling us right here, everything is reviewed. So if it goes out, UMG is pushing it out.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they have time to go through every artist's lyrics.
That's what he just said. And I guarantee you that there's somebody that's going through and combing it, which again goes back to the, hey, Kendrick, while you do have the throne right now, you were used.
So hold on. No, I know that's not happening because too many artists have said you can just upload online. Now, if you want the whole backing and the whole pushing or whatever, then they maybe go through it. But when it's too many artists said, you see Kanye right now uploading music, he's still signing UMG. They not approving all this Nazi stuff.
See, and I'm reading that as in they're approving it. They don't care.
Oh, see, I don't see that as they approving it. I think that's why stuff gets stricken and taken down right after.
No, I think sometimes the backlash is not what they expected. But I definitely think they throw it all against the wall and see what sticks. And then once it sticks, they're like, we roll with it.
This last album, they took that shit down so quick. And let me tell you something, nobody cared. Nobody talked about it. Nobody listened to it. But it's certain things. Now, I think there's a lot of label stuff that goes on. But I look at it like this. Kendrick, he playing the game that he want to play. I don't see a lot of people don't see. I look at music very different. I look at how Drake play it, how he's been playing it, how he's getting called out on it now. Everybody looking at you playing lawyer games because somebody hurt your feelings. And Kendrick looking at it as like, we all know what's going on. Like, we all have seen this happen already.
Well, yeah, I mean, because if they're telling Pusha T, like, yo, you need to take this off of Pop Smoke album. You need to take this off of
He can't
Rick
take
Ross
it off.
album.
They telling them, they just ripping it off.
Yeah.
And what's happening is we're not approving it. And sometimes what that comes down to is like, all right, we're going to find some loopholes why this can't come out. Now, I like the fact that he's like, all right, we leaving the label. And Def Jam, to me, is corny. Y'all already not a label. Y'all already playing games. Y'all are dying. Everybody's failing. And it's no more hip-hop people in there.
Well, I mean, hip-hop itself is kind of morphing into everything else, right? So hip-hop itself is kind of, I don't want to say it's dying out, right? Because people get offended at that, but it is definitely branching into about 3 different other type music genres right now. And what we know as hip-hop, it won't be that anymore. It won't be Tribe Called Quest type music anymore. It won't be Outkast type music anymore.
No, everything is about to go to AI. Everything. I'm sorry. I figured this out.
Yeah.
I was complaining about a photographer. No, I wasn't complaining about her. I was talking shit, but I wasn't complaining. But this whole conversation of, yo, your work looks like AI. And is that a compliment or is it somebody like throwing digs at you? And it's a dig.
Yeah.
And because people are saying it looks like a computer can just think up your work and create it. And it looks cartoonish, right? Come on. I mean, Drake sat up there and created a song, which I thought was cool. I didn't like the song. It was whack. That's why your ass got beat in that beef. But the tailor-made song.
Yeah.
You got Snoop and Tupac voice on there, and it sounded similar to that. You telling me no computer we ain't gonna have Joseph from down the street, who's a songwriter, who maybe don't look good, who don't sound good, and maybe we have them to create a voice and we do an overlay. I forgot who Karina was telling me is some artist, and she's never been in not one of her music videos. She has a girl that dances and all. She dances to every song in her music video, right? Because the girl don't want to be famous like that. But she's a great art. She tours, but every music video is this dancer is in it. I know that they about to start doing that. Like when they had the AI rapper and he was saying the word nigga and they found out it was a white boy who did all that. And it's like, all right. So I think music about to turn there. Now, look, this is also the other thing. Shout out to Rock Nation. Drake, you about to have a long day, bro. I think Rock Nation signing the clips or using them as a distribution is exactly why. And also his other thing. Who Kendrick signed to? It's UMG.
Yeah. I mean, that's what everybody signed to.
Well, here's the thing. I think he signed to UMG. And if you are, they got to approve for your verse to go on that album.
Yeah.
That's why I think all of this is just games. Like it's BS.
Well, it's definitely games, right? It's definitely like a favorite child and then redhead stepchild type situation.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to music artists, right? And it's like, and you can go from being a favorite child to becoming a redhead stepchild.
Yeah.
So but again, right? I think him acknowledging that, like, hey, yeah, no, like they're behind everything. That's how I read it. I read that interview, like him just admitting that, like, yeah, at the end of the day, UMG is behind everything.
Hey, man.
The beef, the no beef. If you hear it, if you don't hear it, it's them.
Yeah,
it's them.
And I think we hold a standard of rap as in
we think of it as being authentic, right?
We want to,
yeah, and it really ain't.
Well, because we ain't in charge of shit.
Yeah, we don't own it.
Thank you.
We don't own it.
A mom was on Threads that I saw. She wants us to stop using the word YNs.
I'm with it. I mean, I wish
I'm not.
I wish the N word would just go away in general because
I like that word.
Because I do too. Because like when we had it, it was just like my nigga.
Yeah.
And then it ended up becoming something where people play with, and it's like I hate that y'all do this. Y'all only do this on the internet. Y'all never do this in real life. I never experienced this in the grocery store line or in the fast food restaurant.
What's that?
But this idea of like when you say nigga, you playing in my face. Right? You're not using it as a term of endearment as it has started, right? Like even like the whole idea of like the dap, the handshake, how we nod, right? These are cultural things of like, hey, we're cool with one another. And then when y'all get on the internet, y'all play with it, right? And then YN was the same thing. Like when people started saying the YNs, it was sort of like people are trying to get away from just calling these kids niggas all the time.
True.
And, but you try to differentiate the difference between the kids who are doing what they need to do and the freaking Gloctaviuses, right? Like, I love Gloctavius. So they start calling them the YNs, right? And then now it's like, again, a term that we're trying to use to categorize, different groups. Y'all turn it into a slur. And it's just like, here we go again. So that's why I'm like, I don't care.
And let me tell you what happens with the slurs. Hip hop culture becomes so much of. And I'm using hip hop culture because I don't want to put this on black people.
Yeah.
Because this is a hip hop thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why I go it's a hip hop thing is because the kids get it and they homeboy Brad beside him in class who likes to listen to Trippie Redd. And he likes listening to, I don't know these young rappers. I ain't going to say Lil Tecca because I listen to his ass. But they started listening to him, right?
Yeah.
And then Ian or whoever these little rappers' names is, right? And then now they get to use the word YN.
Yeah.
And so when the white boys get to use it, then it becomes like a pop culture thing.
Yep.
So now YNs has expanded so much to, we have categorized anybody between the ages of 17 to 24 as a YN.
Yeah.
And now I can call the white boy, he part of them little YNs right over there. And that's not where it came from. I'm here to tell the truth. YNs was how we separated these boys who daddies was not in the house, who was raised by single moms. Who was cutting up And that's all one statement.
Yeah.
These little boys who's getting out here wilding the hell out, cutting up, cussing people out, causing destruction, that's what we labeled as YNs. Now, what happened is it grew a little bit, so we just started saying the little young boys, right? Because that's what we called them.
Yep.
Yo, the little young boys is out here. But it was a difference between young boys and the YNs.
Yep.
Now it's become so global, but we won't have a conversation of how do we label these badass boys who raised by single moms? And because of that, sister who wrote this on Threads, I can't allow you to try to erase it. Now, Mike is 100% correct. It's now becoming a racial thing, but
yeah, it's like why I do not want to be on far right side of Twitter and they're like the YNs. Like what are you talking about? Because y'all screw up every
cool thing.
every quote that we have, right? I don't care if it's woke. Like y'all got woke so messed up. Like
oh my gosh.
Y'all destroy every word y'all grab. Y'all just ruin it. So like, no, I don't like seeing it on that side because again, right, that YN is going to become a way for y'all to use a slur without saying a slur. And it's like, yo, we didn't mean it as a slur. We literally just talk about a subset of mofos that we're trying to get, back in order. And now you want to just use that as a slur against now any young black
let Larry
male.
Hoover out. He'll get him in order. That was the point of Kanye and Drake doing that concert, to get Larry Hoover out.
I don't know enough about Larry Hoover, what he did to wish him in or out.
He did a lot.
Yeah.
You got to do a lot to get 200 years.
Yeah. Well, sometimes.
Nah, when they say 200, they can say 100.
Yeah, sometimes the government be like, we need somebody to blame for all this BS
that's going on in Chicago. Yeah. Sports. The Knicks have fired Tibbs. Congratulations on firing the man who got y'all to the conference finals
for the first time
in the last
25 years.
25 years.
Insane.
That is stupid.
Y'all think Mike Malone is going? There's a reason why Mike Malone get ran out of every franchise. He literally gets ran out. Yo. They ran him out of Sacramento. They ran him out of Denver. Like, y'all really think he's going to come to New York of all places?
Then they like, oh, let's get Coach Bud. He ain't coming either.
Yeah. I mean, Boot would be a good coach, but
man, he ain't going over there.
Yeah, I don't understand firing Tibbs. I don't. Look, Tibbs is frustrating. If you're a fan of his teams, I love playing Tibbs teams in fantasy because Tibbs he plays like 6 people 40 minutes a game, and that does, I guess, wear on players, as the season go along. But this year they weren't tired; they just got their ass kicked. They didn't look tired. They just got their butt kicked.
Yeah, and injuries caught up with them. First of all, can we be real? The Knicks overachieved this year.
They were a good team though.
They were a good team, but they still overachieved.
I think that Boston series, we didn't expect them to come and kick Boston in the mouth like this.
Yeah.
And don't hit me with this Tatum got hurt. They was kicking the ass before Tatum got hurt.
So that was unexpected.
Yeah.
Because if they would have lost against Boston, nobody was going to blink. Everybody would have been like, all right, y'all need KD. You need one more piece. Cool.
Yeah.
So you get past that, and then did they play who they play next? Just the Pacers?
Yeah, they played the Pacers.
I thought they played somebody else. Anyway, but yeah, so then you get past the Pacers. Honestly, we expect y'all to win that. But if you watch basketball enough, the Pacers are the number one defense in the league.
Yep.
And
they're one of the top assist teams in the league.
Yeah.
They get people wide open. They not just take a shot. I can't tell you how many times I'm watching the Knicks and Knicks score and the Pacers done threw the ball down the court and there's no Knicks defenders.
Yeah, they just leaking out every time. Pause. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, I gotta pause this before we get there. But yeah, the Knicks to me overachieved and I'm happy for them. I just don't see how you fire your coach. And let me put it like this:
who you gonna hire?
Not even that. Let's see you keep this whole team together. Y'all not going back to the conference finals.
No.
Unless Tatum's gonna miss all next season. We'll see what the Bucks do. You know what I'm saying?
But I think they could have. If they would have kept Tibbs in the core together.
Yeah, but they didn't.
But because who you gonna bring in now?
You stuck.
I hope y'all hire Mike Brown. Mike Brown's he's the franchise destroyer.
That nigga gonna make 30 games.
I hope y'all bring in Mike Brown.
Me too. I like Mike Brown too, but that's 30
I like
games,
him as a person, but he's a terrible. His style of player basketball is terrible.
Right. I hate when he scrunch up his nose to push his glasses up. Yeah. I hate little things.
You do. You're a hater.
Yeah, I am.
You are a hater.
I had to ask myself, am I cool with being just negative all the time?
This is why the pod works. I'm like the positive person. I'm optimistic. Gavin be like,
not in that group. That group, them girls said you mean.
They didn't say I'm mean. I am not mean in real life.
He's really not. That's the funny part. If you know this man in real life, he's actually a nice person. He just got strong opinions.
Yeah.
Which I gotta love. So the finals are set. We already knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think it went one more game more than what we thought it should have.
I'm excited for this finals.
Really?
This is the first finals I've really been excited to see since Cleveland Golden State. That was like the last finals I was interested in seeing. But the bubble one I was interested in because there wasn't nothing else to do and watch it. So it was like my team versus my favorite player, Miami versus LeBron. So, but I'm not gonna count the bubble. But I'm actually excited to see this finals because for one, I think a superstar is going to emerge. I think the next star of the league is going to emerge. So whether it's Halliburton or whether it's Shea or whether it's one of those other kids over there on OKC, it could be Chet.
They ain't letting none of them. It's Shea versus it's the Paul George finals.
Yeah. So I like it. Also, I like the style of plays. Both of these teams get up and down the floor. Both of them play really good defense. Both makes easy baskets. Neither one of them are chuckers.
Yeah.
Like neither team is a chucking team where they just like I hate watching Boston. They just throw up 53s it is the worst basketball to watch. So I like this finals. I think it's a good matchup. I think you got two really good coaches. I don't think you got great coaches, but I think you got two really good coaches. Now and this is going to be an opportunity to see because I think Tyrese Halliburton thought he was going to get the Eastern Conference Finals.
You
MVP.
didn't think that. He knew he was getting it. He wasn't no thing. Everybody laughed at that. That was so sad, bro.
So low key, I think I wonder if he's gonna be like, "Yo, I'm gonna grab the bull by the horns," like this series. So I'm excited. I have not been excited like this in basketball for like a decade, man.
I think if you love basketball, this is the finals for you.
Yeah,
we don't have no big market like the NBA. I don't think Steve Javie got the memo that he was supposed to extend this to 7. I think he just thought he was showing up to work. He didn't open up the letter that says, "Yo, extend this out." The league wanted New York there.
Yeah.
But they didn't get it.
But no, what nothing they could do.
It was nothing they can do
What nothing they
because
can do, man. That's good old fashioned butt kicking right there.
Absolutely. And the Pacers knew and they said, "Nah, we're not going to even make this close," which is what you're supposed to do, right? So then you do get to this point of having two small market teams, one team that's so super storied that does, Indiana fall. Have they ever been to the finals?
I mean, yeah, I think Reggie Miller took them. I think they got swept. Or it was a gentleman's sweep.
I always knew that.
Because I'm almost certain Reggie Miller didn't beat the Knicks. Or didn't the Knicks beat them? I don't know. I can't remember. That would have been the team, though.
That's all Eastern Conference.
Let's look it up. See, this is why we need a producer.
Absolutely. No, that's the Eastern Conference. I don't know. I don't think they've ever been. I don't think Reggie's ever been to the finals. They were supposed to go that year to the finals because they got really close. And then the Malice in the Palace happened.
No, they went 2000.
Who they played in the finals? The Spurs?
It might have been the Spurs. That might have been the Spurs. That might have been the Spurs.
Okay, so they ain't been in 25 years.
Yeah, they haven't either.
And we know OKC, they've only been with KD and Russ and Harden. So it's two things where we feel like, all right, this can be cool. This is going to be good, especially if you like basketball. You got the number one offensive team versus the number one defensive team. So I think it's going to be a great finals if you like basketball. But if you're looking for the superstar, the storyline, the drama, it ain't there.
But here's the thing.
It's going to be good basketball.
But this is when if you like sports, I know a lot of y'all wait for ESPN to tell you like who's great and what's popular. But if you love sports, like this is an opportunity to watch, quite possibly, right? This is going to be a little hyperbolic, right? But, like if you saw Jordan play in the first championship, right? Mm-hmm. This is your opportunity to maybe see that.
Yeah, especially with OKC.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if Shea is that? Like, what if he is that dude, right? Mm-hmm. What if this is Tyrese Halliburton ascension into stardom, right? Do you want to wait till they've won 3 championships to finally realize how great they are? Or do you want to take this opportunity right now to look and see and be like, yo, at the end of the series, you know what? Shea that dude.
Yeah.
Tyrese that dude. Or whoever's going to show up.
Yeah. And I think...
the Lakers beat them. Lakers beat them? Lakers won 4-2. Yeah, 2000. That was the Shaq Kobe team.
I don't even remember that. I was young.
That sucks to get to the finals and run into Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah. I was 11.
That is terrible. That is bad luck right there.
Especially when you're not AI.
Yeah, that is bad luck right there.
Yeah, it was on this when you had to go against. I used to hate watching basketball with Shaq and Kobe if it wasn't the Spurs because I'm like nobody else has a chance.
Yeah, it was.
Like, what are we doing here?
It was hard to win.
Like Shaq winning Finals MVP and Kobe averaging like 32.
Yeah,
it was like, all right, bro. God dang it. What you got planned this weekend?
Not much, man. We're going to go out to the Active Dads events on Saturday, so I'll see y'all out there if y'all come through. I'll be live tonight if this pops up today. If not,
it will.
Well, they're not gonna listen today. But if you probably listen to this tomorrow, I was live last night, so I'll be live again next Wednesday. But outside of that, that's really all I got going on.
Look, we got 2 new dad shirts. Go on blackdadsclub.com. I don't know why I'm touching my shirt like this is the shirt. It is not. We got a Black Dads Club shirt, and we have a Most Active Dads t-shirt. Please go get you one, cop one, love it. I won't have it on this weekend because if I was smart, I would have ordered one and rushed it here, but I didn't. But yeah, man, I ain't got nothing planned this weekend. Shout out to my homie Leo. It's his birthday. He's turning 1, so I'll be there for that. It's Ben's
Nice.
kid. Yeah, so I'll be there for that, but I'll be at Ice Cream and Dad's. I will be there from 2 to 2:40. You get there after 2:40, I will no longer be there. And I will be there with my kid, and I'm sure he's going to be screaming and loving that I'm getting him ice cream before he had dinner.
Yeah.
So he ain't going to know.
Course.
Yeah, he going to be like, yo, you really do like me. He did ask me today would I be his best friend forever.
Oh.
And then his mom came in the room, and he was like, you my best friend. And so I was like,
man, boy, smart.
Yeah, he just switched up on me. But he didn't know I was the one feeding him breakfast. But yeah, man, we're going to holler at y'all next time.
Holla at your boy.